Hi everyone, I'm Julia Katsivo. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. For those who are watching live and those who will be watching a little bit later on. Today I'm excited because the topic is obviously of interest to me. And this is dreamers, people who go out and they start to make their own way in the world through their business, because their business is their vehicle to their lifestyle that they want to live. So what are we talking about today? Well, how do you make the most of your day? One of the biggest things that happens with people is that they don't know how to prioritize their day, and a lot of time is wasted or not as many moves are made, and there's always a question of what should I do first? How should I prioritize my day? What should I take care of? So I'm hoping that by the time we're done here, that I will have given you some tips that's going to really help set you up for success. And this I'm taking from my own personal experience. Now, when I worked in the corporate world, one thing that I wrote about then, and I remember I got a lot of people who were not amused by what I said, but what I said is, like, make the time so that you can work on your dream. And for me, what that meant at that time was working from 4 in the morning to 7 in the morning every day on my dream. And then after work, I would work again in the evening up until about 10 p.m. on my dreams, all my vacation, all my weekends, all my long holidays. I took that time to really work on my dream. So it's really a question of what do you want, where do you want to go, what do you want to do, how bad do you want it? So that's the first thing, is you got to decide. Everything everything starts and ends here. So the first thing that you want to do so that you can start to make the most of your day, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide what you want. Like, just get down to it. Just say what it is that you want. So back in 2010, around 2011, I started to think to myself that what I definitely wanted to do was to speak on stages. I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be a paid speaker, and I wanted to be a paid author. I wanted to publish books. I wanted to work in that realm, in that space. And so I made up my mind. And then I went and I did something else that's really, really gutsy. And this is the second thing, is start acting like it. Start acting like what you decide. So I went out and I got myself some business cards. And back then it was, at least now we've got Vistaprint. They do such a great job, even if you're not going to spend too much on your cards or whatnot. Back then the cards they did their job decent, right? So I had these cards. They had my name, and on there I had author, speaker, and something else. Blogger. Yes, author, speaker, blogger. Now, one of those was true. I was a blogger. I started blogging in 2010. And the speaker and the author part, not true. But what this did is it forced me to go out there and start making it happen. And not too long after, I got my first speaking gig, and it was at a conference. And shortly after, I started getting my speaking gigs, and I'm going to go into that next. So the first thing is decide what you want. The second thing is start acting like it. Now, I'm not saying, if you want to be a lawyer or a therapist, that you go straight out and start telling people that you are, because one of the criticisms about this world that we're in, the coaching world, is that it's largely unregulated, and it's true. You can, anybody can just get up in the morning and call themselves a coach. Now, really where you have to is just really back up your claim. So what helped me when I said that I was a speaker and an author is that I had these things already in motion. And this is the third thing, is you got to start applying for what you want. So if you want speaking gigs, if you want to be a coach, then you've got to do one of two things. You've got to start applying for the positions to speak. Just start applying everywhere, and that fits your market, that would be a good fit for you, and start asking for money. Now, the biggest common thing that I see a lot of people go through for quite a long time is they don't ask for money. Now, I understand we're in a value-based culture where you've got to give a lot of value before you make your ask, or give a lot of value so that people don't feel that you're salesy or spammy. But the truth is, if you're not asking for the sale, if you're not asking for money, then you're not making money. You're not asking for it. You're not inviting it in. Now, if you are in business or you want to go into business for yourself, you've got to really center yourself, ground yourself, know that you're worth it, know that what it is that you're doing is worth it, and then ask people to buy. And you will start to get the people who need what you're selling, and they will start buying. For the speaking gigs, you got to start asking for budgets. You know, what is your speaking budget? Do you have a budget? Do you have any money that you're putting out toward this? Start asking for money before you make the decision to say yes to a speaking engagement. And that's how you're going to see that people actually do have budgets and that they will put out for you because you're worth it. So these are some of the things that I want you to consider for today, right? So the 3 things again is, the first thing is decide what you want. Just say it. It doesn't matter if it's scary, if it looks like it's going to happen, if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, just say it. The second thing is start acting it. So start acting what you want. Don't wait for it to come and then start to show up. Show up now as though it is already here. How would you act if you already had what you want? And the third thing is start applying. Start applying for those speaking engagements, and don't sit here and say, but where, but how. Just get to it. Just buckle down, put a timer on, sit down for 2 hours and do the work and find these places. You've got to do the work. And the other thing is start asking for money. If you're a coach, if you have products and services that you have that you believe are beneficial to people, reach out, start asking, or do some marketing. And marketing would be just to really go out there and educate the people in your target group. And what they do then is they reach back to you and they say, I'd like to have a conversation. It could be you, or it could be your sales team, whatever the case may be. Make it happen. I'm Julia Katsivo. Have an awesome rest of the day or evening.